What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Off Topic. Kadeem, how the hell are you this week, man?
Had a good one. How about you?
Wasn't terrible. Was not terrible. A lot of basketball still this week. Really had an interesting week in terms of media.
hmm
Um, some things you want to get off your chest to start, or do you want me to start?
I'll let you start it because I might go for a minute.
Okay, guys. This week, One Piece, the chapter came out very early in the week. We've had a couple days to let it simmer and give our thoughts. So I'm going to lead off with a eulogy for Captain Useless Kid. Captain
Eustess.
Useless Kid lies here today at the bottom of the sea, aged 23, most famous for losing his arm to an unnamed pirate in the Red Hair ranks. He's also famous for supporting Trafalgar D. Water Law in the defeat of Big Mom and being
Supporting.
absolutely annihilated by red haired Shanks with little more than a whisper. He threatened a couple weak pirates and was annihilated. So that's my eulogy. Here lies Captain Useless Kid. Kadeem, your thoughts on Captain Kidd?
So, as a One Piece fan, we often say Oda doesn't miss. I can tell you, I have spent the better part of about 5 or 6 years buying up kid stocks and bragging about it. I have been a kid defender for as long as I can remember. And I often used to tell you there is not a single fight that Kid has lost that Luffy would have won. I've gotten no payoff for this. Um, for him to fall to literally one named attack was absolutely terrible.
Yep.
I'm not sure why you build somebody up to do them this dirty. Um, I mean, this is almost exactly what happened when Luffy fought Kaido the first time and lost to like one Thunder Bagua, except Luffy actually hit Kaido.
Yep.
They go out of the way, like in everything that you want to say that might make it better, Oda just shits on. Like as you see, Kid was about to fuck up that fleet with whatever attack that was, but they go out of the way to say like, "Oh, Shanks, we're all so weak. Thank you." they they've ruined everything about Kid, but I'm not selling my stock.
Okay, to be fair, I'm going to piggyback off of that. If you were in the stock market, this would be the time to purchase all the kids' stock. It's
I,
at its
I
lowest
need more.
price.
I need
Now would be
more.
the time to get it.
I
But
need more
here's
kids.
here's my problem with that.
He might be dead.
Realistically, there should be no way he's alive.
He might be dead.
Because for one, we know double fruit users can't swim. He's
Yeah.
out in the water.
Yep.
There's nobody coming to save him. He is surrounded by the red-haired pirates. Logically, it's going to be very hard for Oda to find a way to bring Kid out of the situation. And I want to add, Killer even tried to take the attack for him.
Oh God,
Like,
that was terrible.
I don't know what else to do here about Kid. I've been against Kid for a while. I think he's got to be one of the most arrogant, overhyped pirates ever. I thought after beating Big Mom with Law, things were turning around for him. But the moment he said he was going to fight Shanks, I thought this was a possible outcome. And he literally went after potentially the strongest pirate alive right now. And
So
that's
here's
what
my problem.
happens.
Here's my thing. I've always, and I've said this to you before. I think Kid is a darker version, or was meant to be a darker version of Luffy. Um, I thought the parallels were great. Kid's been killing innocent people. That's how he got to his status. Luffy's been liberating people. They both have swordsmen as their right hands. They're both worst generation. Everything about them seemed to parallel. Also, there's only three pirates in the worst generation with any ambition, and that's Kid, Law, and Luffy. The rest are just kind of trying to make it right. No, none of them. No, I don't think anybody else in the worst generation actually wants to be Pirate King. Evidenced by the fact that as soon as Kaido came down, only Kid and Killer were actually willing to fight him.
Yeah.
That's why they got fucked up so bad. The rest turned instantly. So You have three decent pirates. They're the big three of the worst generation, in my opinion. Luffy, Law, and Kid. Um, they build Kid up. Like they have Kid take some serious fucking L's. Then they build him up and they let him fight a Yonko. He goes right back after Shanks, showing that whatever it is he has against Shanks is still there. Like Kid at no point said that he wanted. Kid at no point said like we're just going to take down a Yonko. The original plan before they fought Kaido was to go after Shanks.
Yeah.
So there's something about Shanks that Kid wants, whether it's just ambition or there's something personal. I don't know. Shanks didn't even remember who Kid was.
I mean, see, like that was really damning for me. Is like somebody in Shanks's crew had to tell him who Kid was. Like they don't. Like Shanks didn't even remember the fact that Kid got his arm taken by a member of his pirate crew already. Like that's how low like they think of Kid. Like I just think at this point it's gonna be really difficult for him to make a comeback.
Here's the thing: with Oda, nobody really dies.
Yeah,
we're on chapter like almost 1100, and we have like 6 deaths throughout the entire series. Nobody really dies. So, if Kid is coming back, I'm gonna buy a couple more socks because it's not in Kid's nature to just bend the knee. It's not in Kid's nature. I don't think he would go be like, okay, well I'm running with Blackbeard now or anything like that. I think he would come back stronger. There is a really fun theory about this that I wanted to tell you about.
Okay.
You remember at Marineford when Mihawk went to slash Luffy and Luffy had future sight hockey and pulled his arms back? Heard a really interesting theory that Luffy didn't use future sight. That Mihawk was able to basically plant that vision in his head. Now,
okay, keep going.
It's out there, but the ability would make sense because if everybody has future sight, it's kind of pointless. Everybody seeing 2 minutes into the future. So the ability to put a fake future in somebody's head or make them see what you want them to see would be useful. Just like how Shanks can destroy Conqueror or destroy future sight. You can trick it. So the idea is that Mihawk did that and that basically Shanks just did this to Killer. He made Killer see what happens if he attacks his crew. The only problem with that is that I don't think Killer would see that and then turn away. I think Killer would just be like, I'm just going to attack, even harder or something like that. So the only fan theory that kind of saves Killer, Kid ruins it. So I've got nothing.
Okay.
I'm still buying my stock. So
and I understand this is the perfect time to buy a Kid stock. It's at like 2 cents right now. You can get a lot of it.
Way less.
My only rebuttal to that is if you look back at the panel where Luffy has his future sight moment, if you look at it, Mihawk sees him have that moment.
Yes, Mihawk stares at him first.
No, but like Mihawk has that. There's like a bubble that goes off, and Mihawk realizes that he sees what's going to happen. So like Mihawk's future sight's already working, and he sees that Luffy knows that he can't put his hands out there. So to me, I think that really happened, and that was like a moment to show. It's a cool theory, and it's very far fetched because of the way we've not ever seen anybody be able to do that yet. But Shanks is probably one of the most advanced future sight users. So, I mean, anything's possible. What he could do with Conqueror's Hockey is also absurd. So, if anybody could do it, it would be Shanks.
I don't see why you feed Kid to the grinder just to show how strong Shanks is. Half the community thinks Kid sucks. So, Shanks wrecking Kid didn't give Shanks any points. I don't see why Kid got fed to the grinder this week.
I mean, really, this is after Wano. I mean, it's kind of been like a Shanks show-off type thing. He smited down Green Bull with the Conqueror's Hockey attack. That was impressive. And then he speed blitzed Kid without Kid. They had no chance. And he used, a named attack on Kid. It's just been Shanks kind of flexing. Do you remember in the it's been a couple chapters now when Shanks like said he was gonna go take care of Bartholomew because
Mm-hmm.
he was like messing up their flags or something. I wonder what came of that because yeah, remember like Birdie, he was like messing with them.
He probably ran.
I'm just
he
like
probably
now that we've seen Shanks, like this guy is
no. The flip has switched.
dangerous. He's legitimately
The switch has flipped. The switch has flipped with Shanks. He's been a different beast. Who do you think it was pulling up to Egghead? I wonder.
I saw some people think that it's Aokiji, and I think that would be
That's
cool.
what I think it is.
That would be pretty
That's
cool if he was out there. I also saw somebody said that's how Law escaped on the ship.
He stole the ship.
I don't know.
No.
I saw somebody said. I thought that was funny.
But that would mean no. But that hurts Law because if he stole a ship and then ran back to Luffy.
Yeah, no, I'm just saying that that's what somebody said. I think it's probably Aokiji or somebody like that.
Yeah, I do too. Aokiji and Kizaru meet for the first time on different sides.
I would
That'd
like
be
to
really
see those
cool.
guys fight. That'd be cool. I'm going to ask you a quick trivia question about Kid. We know you're not great with names, but I'm going to fire this one at you anyway. Name me one person on Kid's crew besides Killer.
I don't know anybody on Kid's crew besides Killer. I don't. I saw somebody.
Problem though, like you've supported Kid for so long. Don't you think it's a problem? You don't know anybody on his crew.
I saw someone say that they think Oda killed Kid just because he didn't want to give him a crew.
I mean, we know 3 people's names on there.
But here's the thing. To be fair,
Walter,
Law's crew was terrible until they fought Blackbeard, and then they moved in perfect unison. Like we should have had something like that.
I'm just saying, but we've actually seen these guys before. Heat, Wire, and Walter. You couldn't name one of them. I just wanted to see what you would say.
No clue.
All right, and sticking with One Piece, let's get into this. This is something that is always debated. Very active on social media with this stuff. Power scaling One Piece is a national pastime at this point. We're going to give our top 15 strongest characters right now. We left off legends. We left off some dead people. We left off the Garossi. So obviously, tell us who you guys think. Your top 5, top 10, whatever you want to tell us. Kadeem, let's start at 15 for you. Who do you have at 15?
So, at 15, I had a list of people who really just barely got eaten out, but Shiryu of the Rain comes in at 15.
Okay.
As of right now, I'd give him the edge. He beat out Zoro, Yamato, Green Bull, and Fujitora for me.
Heavy hitters. Okay, at my 15, I actually had Zoro. Okay. I think it's going to be very difficult to keep Zoro off of these lists because he does have advanced Conqueror's Haki attacks, and as we've seen now, that is the strongest attack you can have.
Yep.
So, and he beat a Luminarian. He was able to hurt Kaido. I just think he's got to be one of the top 15 right now. Okay, who do you got at 14?
Bit of a legacy pick. I'm going Monkey D. Garp. I think he's about to make his final stand against Blackbeard, and I think he'll put up a really good fight. So,
I like the respect for Garp. And I think it helps that he's still active out there. 14, I had Shiru also of the Rain. I just believe that Blackbeard's number 2 has to be ridiculous. And I do believe at one point him and Zoro are going to square off in a pretty important clash. So I have him at 14. I kind of have those two like linked together at this point. Who do you have at 13?
Trafalgar Law.
It's interesting you have him over Zoro, but I do like the respect.
Zoro physically would dominate Law, but I think Law's a lot smarter, better battle IQ even, and he's just gonna hack him out. I got Law winning that.
I had at 13. I had Fujitora. I think his Devil Fruit is still insane. Really, we didn't get enough of him yet. I thought he was toying with Sabo and Dressrosa. I thought it was more of a game to him. I think as an admiral, he needs to have that kind of spot. Who do you have at 12?
At 12, I'm going with Mr. Blicky himself, Ben Beckman. I think this Shanks number 2. He's he's probably really, really strong.
Yeah.
I mean, he scared the shit out of Kizaru, who I actually have higher on this list. So
Yeah.
I'm going Beckman.
We both have Beckman at 12. If
Let's go.
anything, he could probably push even a little bit higher.
Hmm.
He's going to be one of the all-time shooters in One Piece history. At number 11, who do you have?
Give me Crocodile.
I like.
Cross Gears is up and running. I think Crocodile and Mihawk are somewhat equals here. And I think Crocodile, now that he has hockey, is a pretty big deal.
I mean, and realistically, if you think back, Crocodile was one of the strongest people we saw pre-time skip.
Hmm.
The fact that droplets of water beat him was kind of an ass pull.
Yep. I mean, he fought Dolphin in the war.
I mean, he went after Akainu. He went after Whitebeard.
Hmm.
He fought Doffy. He made fun of Doffy. He's definitely strong. We just haven't seen him do anything since the time skip. At 11, I had Sabo, the number 2 in the Revolutionaries. We need to know what happened in some of these fights he's had with the Admirals to really know where he's at. But I definitely believe he's in the top 15. Number 10, who do you got?
Kizaru.
Yes.
This is where Kizaru comes in for me. Really offensive devil fruit, really fast. I putting the yellow monkey up there.
Yeah. I also had Kizaru at 10. Do you take anything from like film Red about Kizaru, like the way Shanks was able to handle him?
Well, I have Shanks really, really high on this
Yeah,
list too.
so do I. I'm just wondering if you took any of that
No,
into consideration.
that's not an anti feat for me. It just, if anything, it shows Shanks had to be serious, I think, in order to back him off.
Number 9 for you.
Flame Emperor Sabo.
Okay, you have Sabo at 9. Okay, cool.
Sabo had crazy hockey in Dressrosa, has a great fruit. I think he's only been getting stronger since we've seen him.
Fair. At number 9, I have Aokiji. We don't know anything about him. We don't know if he is weaker from when he fought Akainu or what's happened since. We do know he's joined Blackbeard in some capacity, but I do think there's got to be some kind of drop off because he lost his arm and he was damaged in the fight with Akainu, but I don't know how much. So that's why I put him at number 9.
Okay.
Number 8.
This is going to be the biggest gap in our picks.
Okay, so you have him at 8. Okay.
No. At number 8, I have the world's strongest swordsman.
Yeah, no, I assumed he'd be in that range for you.
I have Mihawk at 8. This really isn't, I think, a bad place for Mihawk because everybody over him is so stupid strong. I'll explain the person directly preceding him after this, but I think Mihawk can fight anybody and make it a really, really hard fight. There's a couple arguments over this, but I'd go Mihawk at 8.
Okay, my number 8, I still have Big Mom in there.
Okay.
Seeing her lose to Kid and Law was interesting. She never used her advanced Conqueror's hockey attack either, so I was a little bit confused on that fight and the way Oda laid out that fight. But I'm gonna still give her the benefit of the doubt. She is a Yonko. If they are alive, if her and Kaido are alive, I still have her at 8.
Yeah.
Number 7.
So number 7 is where I have Aokiji.
Okay.
The reason I have him here is because every time we see his devil fruit, it's on a massive scale. Like he's freezing half the ocean, or he's freezing tidal waves, or he's freezing stuff so it lasts like 7 days. Freezing half of an island. Like every time we see him use his power, it's on a massive scale. So that's why he narrowly beat out Mihawk.
Okay. At 7, this is where I have Luffy slide in. He could probably be a little bit higher, but I still don't think he can beat Kaido one-on-one.
Oh, no.
And I do think the people behind him on my list, he can beat at this point. So I have Luffy at 7. Who do you have at 6?
6, I have Big Mom.
Big Mom.
Yeah, 6 is where Mom slides in. I debated her over Luffy. I think right now with his goofy ass powers, Luffy barely beats her. But I still, like you said, there was a lot she really didn't show. I mean, she can eat souls and stuff. I think she's still insanely strong if she's still alive.
Okay. At 6, I have I have a Kanu at 6. This is
Okay.
where it gets really jam packed for me
Hmm.
because I believe that a Kanu is on the same level as a Kaido, a Shanks, a Blackbeard, a Mihawk for me.
Hmm.
So this like 6 through 2
It's a tier.
is very very close. So I don't want
Hmm.
anybody to be like, why the hell do you have a Kanu? No, I think a Kanu can beat these guys. I think he's on the same level. It's just hard to rank when everybody's on the same level. So a Kanu at 6 for me. Who do you have at 5?
Straw Hat Luffy.
Okay.
This is where I think with Gear Fifth, if he goes all out, this is where I feel like he beats everybody beneath him. The top four, I think, just have either they're a little too strong or have a little too much experience.
Okay, that's fair. At 5, I have Kaido. I was debating having Kaido or Blackbeard at this spot, and I ended up going with Kaido. Um, he beat Luffy 3 times. Like
Yeah.
it took a lot to beat Kaido, no matter what. So I definitely think he's one of the top 5 strongest people in One Piece still. Who do you have at 4?
This is where I'm putting a Kanu. Fun fact for those out there: about 4 years ago, me and Doug were in a group chat on Twitter, and I said to everybody I thought a Kanu was Yonko level. They laughed in my face and kicked me out of the group chat. So
You were right. You were right.
here we are.
Hell of a call by you. Um, at
4.
4, I slid Blackbeard in at 4. Um, the thing is, we haven't seen Blackbeard pick it up yet. Like
Okay.
that's my main thing. Like we just haven't seen him. We've seen him beat a couple people. We've seen him, steal some devil fruits, but we haven't seen him like. I thought at this point, like I didn't expect him to fight Law, like, but if he was to fight Law, I expect him to dominate at this point.
Hmm.
And we don't know. So I'm going to put him at 4 with the potential to go even further. Number 3.
Blackbeard's my 3.
Okay.
2 devil fruits. The only problem is I don't know, like you said, one, he's never been serious. We've never seen him really use like a lot of hockey or anything. So Blackbeard has a bunch of questions, but off having 2 fruits and probably being one of the smarter characters in the verse, I would put Blackbeard at 3.
My number 3 is where I put in Mihawk. There's a lot of back and forth about this. Um, it's just kind of where you fall on how you feel about swordsmanship in One Piece and things like that.
Hmm.
It's kind of until it really gets shown, people are going to have a hard time believing after we've seen what Shanks has done.
Yep.
So that's fair. I got Mihawk at 3 right now. Who do
To
you
be
have?
fair, Mihawk could be anywhere from 3 to 15, and you really couldn't argue. Like he's like you said, until we see it. So that's a good pick.
Who do you have at 2 then? Because you didn't. Okay, so to preface it, guys, he didn't count Emu as on his list. So
Yeah.
your 2 is going to be a little bit different for that reason.
Yeah.
Who do
Yeah,
you
I
have
think
at 2?
wasn't a great weapon. 2 is actually where I have Kaido.
Yeah. Okay.
I think if Kaido was fully powered, wasn't spending energy keeping the island in the air, and took a fight serious from the beginning, I don't think anybody beneath him wins. Especially since he made a little dig, and I felt like this was almost towards Blackbeard when he said, devil fruits aren't how you conquer the sea. It only happens through hockey.
Mm-hmm.
That's the main thing that makes me think he's destroying he's beating Blackbeard in a
At
fight.
this point, or do you think going forward?
If they fought right now, I have to see what Blackbeard does with Garp and Law, because I feel like there are 3 of them are kind of going to fight around the same time.
Okay.
But yeah, as of right now, I have Kaido above Blackbeard. I think Kaido's one of the 5 strongest all time, honestly, in One Piece. He's
Cool.
destructive.
I mean, I'm with you. I have Shanks at 2 at this point. Shanks, I don't think there's much you can say right now in terms of him not being the strongest Yonko. I think he's kind of put a stamp on that, and it's only going to get better for him. I do believe at one point Blackbeard is going to kill Shanks, but as of now, Shanks is the strongest Yonko. Who's your number 1?
My number one is Shanks. My number
Okay.
one is Shanks.
That's what.
Easy. Number one question: do you think Shanks has Roger's sword?
No, they're different. They have a different handle.
Do
Cutlass.
they?
His was a
Okay.
cutlass. Shanks's is I can't remember. I'd have to look close again, but I believe they have different handles. That'd
And
be interesting if he did, though.
You were the one who pointed out to me that he has Roger's attack.
Yes.
Or that was Roger's attack that he used. So
yeah,
it made me wonder because I couldn't remember what Roger's sword looked like.
that'd be cool. Yeah, I believe that's a good idea. That's good. We'll have to look at that. We'll post pictures on here of the two different swords, and we'll see what you guys think. Okay. My number one is Emu. I'm really interested in seeing what happens with him. Is he using one of the ancient weapons? Is he capable of destroying a country island by himself? There's a lot of like theories and all that kind of stuff out there. So that is a character that's lying in wait. Very interested to see what happens with him going forward. Well, guys, that is our top 15 strongest One Piece characters as of right now. Drop in, give us a comment, let us know who you guys think are the strongest One Piece characters going right now. We definitely would love to hear that feedback. All right, Kadeem, change pace a little bit here. We're going to stick in the animated realm, but now we're going to do a Disney movie draft. We're going to go 1 through 5. You've had the first pick the last couple weeks, so I'm going to take the first pick with this one. I think this is going to be hard to pass up. I'm going to go with Hercules as number 1.
Good pick. If I'm doing Disney movies, I'm taking Lion King, number 1.
Okay. So you lied to me, but whatever. My number 2 is going to be Mulan. I love Mulan.
Okay.
Love Mulan.
Okay. I actually thought you would take this number 2. I'm going Tarzan. Just off the strength of Phil Collins, possibly. But yeah, I'm going Tarzan.
That's fair. That is fair. My number 3 is Toy Story.
Okay.
Who is your third round pick?
Time for us to stop being boomers and come into the last 10 years. I'm going to go Moana. I think Moana is an amazing movie.
That's a really good pick. My number 4 is Monsters, Inc.
I had that on here. Okay. My number 4 is The Incredibles.
Oh, man, that's a good one. Damn. My number 5, to round it out, is a movie I watch a lot because of my daughter. I'm going to go with Frozen.
That is fair.
It is a classic for the children.
That is fair. My number 5, I'm going Encanto. I don't know if you've seen it, but Encanto's really good.
Encanto is very good. Good selection. I think we killed that Disney draft. We didn't really step on each other's toes that time. Mm-hmm. I thought you said you weren't going to pick Lion King early, so I thought I was going to steal Lion King at 2, but I like it. So I know that, like, did you draft it by your favorite or best?
So like taking Lion King 1, definitely best.
Yeah.
I think I did best. Yeah,
I feel like Lion King's probably the gold standard of Disney movies, probably. Mm-hmm. My favorite Disney movie is still Toy Story. I grew up with Toy Story. I watched that a lot. So okay, guys, big spoiler alert here. Major spoiler alert. We are going to discuss the new John Wick movie.
Yes.
So yeah, spoilers. If you haven't seen it, do not check into this part. We will timestamp everything. Just a heads up for everybody. John Wick conversation is here. Kadeem, what's it like when you're at a movie and there's a blackout?
Jesus Christ. Okay, so my girlfriend loves John Wick. We have a tradition of when we have movie dates, we always go get brunch, go see the movie. We're in there for 2 hours. We're getting to the climax. John Wick says, there's a third option. The whole movie cuts out. I don't see the end and from what I understand, it was absolutely insane. Right. So I'm going to have to see it again. Going to have to see it soon. But yeah, I really got hosed by Sinopolis on that one.
Okay, what does Cinépolis do when they have a blackout? I've never experienced it before.
They said you can either get a refund or get a free ticket.
Okay,
I
so you just took a
could
refund.
have tried to take both, but yeah, took the refund.
Yeah, I wasn't sure exactly how that would be handled. So you haven't seen really the big ending,
The
but
climax, yeah.
what was your favorite part of the movie that you actually got to see?
I love the beginning when they're in the Osaka hotel and you get the archers and the samurai and all that. I love that part. I think it's either that or him versus Killer. I'm gonna go with the beginning with the in the Osaka hotel. That's probably my favorite.
Yeah, I like the Osaka hotel. That the whole Japanese vibe is just like it's so much
So
different
cool.
than like, and the way they use their weapons is all it's just it feels more sophisticated
Hmm.
when they're doing that. My favorite part of the movie is actually I don't know why I just love the chaos of when they're in the roundabout and they're fighting in the roundabout and like people are getting thrown into cars, they're getting hit by cars, they're firing in between cars with their guns and stuff. The roundabout scene was really fun for me.
Hmm.
I just love the chaos of the roundabout scene. Um, how did you feel about Bill Skarsgård as a villain in this one?
He worked. The French, I didn't like that he was French as much. Like that caught me off guard. But I mean, I thought it worked. He came off as a very arrogant, very entitled, very powerful person, which is what you wanted. Like I thought he did fine. Not his best villain, wasn't Pennywise, but he was very good.
Yeah, no, I thought he did a good job. I thought he was like he, I think he really like showed off when Mr. Nobody came to the stables
Yes.
and then like they were trying to make the deal and he did the quick hand action and stabbed him in the hand. He kind of
Hmm.
showed off like his knife ability there. Like you got to see that he was dangerous himself.
Hmm.
And when they were deciding like the final duel, he wanted to use knives because you saw him. He was a talented user with knives. So I thought that was really interesting. We're not going to spoil the end for you guys, but I'm going to give John Wick 4 a 8.5 out of 10. I thought it was probably one of the better action movies of the past 10 to 20 years. It was really, really good. It really picked up in the end. It was just all gas, no brakes at the end. Kadeem, you're going to give it an incomplete, I'm guessing, because you didn't get to
Yeah.
finish.
From where it was heading, it was gonna be in the 8 to 9 range. It was very good before it cut off. I just missed the most important part, so I'm gonna
Uh,
give it an incomplete and check back in.
for me, if I had to rank the John Wick movies, I would rank it 4, 3, 1, 2.
Okay.
And like by no means is 2 a bad movie. Like
Oh
by
no.
no means. I just think that I just thought the introduction of John Wick and everything was a little bit more important than what happened in number 2. But this is the best action series that we may have for a long time. It's been
Oh
that
yeah.
good.
Oh yeah.
Um, Kadeem, got anything else to touch on with John Wick?
I think they did a really good job making Skarsgård who he was because when you have somebody like John who's no talk, all action, and when he does talk, it's a word or two. You really need somebody to be kind of over the top to play opposite that. And
Yeah.
so I thought Skarsgård did a really good job in that.
Also, Donnie Yen as a blind, just badass. Like the way he finishes people off with the multiple stabs really quick with his sword.
How
It
he
just
does like it, the sword move like that,
also
he is dangerous.
what did you think of his like alarm system when he was fighting multiple people?
The doorbell
The
thing,
doorbell, yes.
so smart,
Yes, that was
so
genius.
smart.
Genius. Donnie Yen, incredible fighter. I wanted to run something by you, a little scenario that I would have liked in the film. Okay, let me set the stage. Remember when Christian Bale's Batman, goes and visits the doctor,
Yeah.
and he says, "There's nothing here," and
Hmm.
Christian Bale's like, "That's great." No, no, there's nothing there.
Yeah.
You have
I've
no
seen worse
cartilage left.
cartilage knees. Yeah.
I wanted like that kind of scene for John Wick because that guy is the most durable son of a bitch I've ever seen. He falls off of buildings and gets hit by cars. I wanted him to like sit down at the doctor and just like, John, there's nothing on here, man. And he's like, Doc, that's great. No, John, you have no ligaments. Your cartilage is fried. Like I just thought that would have been really funny for like John Wick because he has like that strained already. Like you can see it's wearing on him. But I just thought that would have been a funny touch to add in there, like a doctor scene where he just explains that, John, your body's falling apart.
No, that would be pretty hilarious.
So that's all for John Wick, guys. Go check it out. Hell of a movie. Hell of a conclusion for the series. Kadeem, let's get into our questions from the audience.
Okay.
What is your favorite movie quote?
So, have you ever seen The Watchmen?
I have.
Really long movie, really good one. There's a part where one of the heroes, Rorschach, gets locked in a prison, and like all of the prisoners are kind of like, oh, we have a hero in here with us, we can fuck him up. And he just destroys one of them, and he said, I don't think y'all get it. I'm not locked in here with you. All of you are locked in here with me.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really badass line.
That's a great pick. Rorschach. Yeah, no, great pick. My quote is from, it's been used throughout time, but like when it really caught on to me was Interstellar, when Michael Caine gives the do not go gently into the good night, rage against the dying of the light. That just always stuck with me for some reason. I really like that quote. I really like the way it fit into Interstellar and the concept of they're trying to save the earth. I just thought that quote fit that movie so well. So yeah, no, I think those are two really good movie quotes. All right, number 2 this week. What one historical event would you change in history?
So I'm going to sound like a nerd, but the Library of Alexandria being burned down, like it had all type of texts from like ancient Persia and Greece and Egypt. And I really think that a lot of the stuff that we kind of had to guess on regarding those civilizations, we would have known a lot more had that library not been burned down. I think that's probably set a lot of math and science back too.
Okay, I like that. I'm going to say I'm gonna like ignore the obvious ones. There's some really easy ones out there. I like, this is just from a strictly historic point of view, guys. I would like to know what had happened if Hitler didn't invade Russia in the winter.
What happened to you, man? What is it? Say what you're really saying. Say what you're really saying.
What? That's what I really think.
You like to know what happened if the Third Reich kept going?
As you can see, as a blonde-haired, blue-eyed man, I'm just wondering if things could have been different for us.
This is what you people are tuning into.
Hopefully you guys take that with a grain of salt. It's more of a joke than anything. I just didn't have a great answer, so I came up with, why would you attack Russia in the winter? I think it's one of the stupidest military decisions of all time, and I would have been interested to see if it went a different direction. Number 3, Kadeem, this is one that comes from you this week. What anime character would you have as your best man at your wedding?
I'm picking Jiraiya, because I know the after party or the bachelor party is going to be insane. It's going to be strippers, going to be a lot of liquor, and it's going to be a good time.
Now, do you think your guests are going to be confused when you're serving Jiraiya on metal sticks?
All right. We don't insult the toad sage here. Not on this show.
My best man would be I'm gonna go with Goku. I don't know why.
I mean, he's gonna eat. He's gonna party.
He's gonna eat a lot. He's gonna have a great time. He's gonna show up with the ring. He may forget his children, but he's gonna show up at the wedding and be a good best man. I don't know. I had a hard time picking that one. Probably because I don't think I'm ever getting married. So that probably plays a part in it.
For any women watching who are interested in a world where Germany doesn't lose the Second World War, Doug is available.
I didn't say I wanted Germany to win. I'm interested military tactics wise if they did not attack Russia in the winter, guys. It's a hypothetical.
You all heard him.
This guy is worried about some random text.
Just education and math, science, and literature. That small stuff.
Military tactics are important, guys. All right, guys. This has been off topic for the week. Kadeem, do you have anything to say before we get out of here today?
Nothing to follow that up. Nothing
we went a little sideways there at the end. Hopefully you guys do take that with a grain of salt. Don't cancel me. Don't cancel me, guys. I need this. All right. We'll see you guys next week. Thanks.
There you go.